All right, welcome back, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Marco Holz and Timo Zart. And they're going to tell us about Beyond Instant Messaging, Matrix in the public sector.
Yeah, nice for having us. Thanks you all for coming. It's a pleasure to stand here in front of the Matrix community. My name is Marco. I'm from FITCO, a German federal government agency, and we're supporting other government agencies by providing core infrastructure for the German e-governance sector. And next to me is Timo.
Yeah, my name is Timo. I'm working at the Federal Ministry of Interior and Community, and there within the project Bund ID, which is the German citizen account. And yeah, we are just we just offer the citizens the account. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to say today? So first, maybe start with a little motivation on Matrix, and we have a kind of special view on Matrix that doesn't really diverge that much from the community, I guess. But first, you may first think of Matrix as an open standard for instant messaging, and the question is it? In a way, of course, it is, because it's built to create instant messaging experiences and team chats and all that kind of stuff. But of course, there's more. We see Matrix as a protocol that integrates very well in the web ecosystem. It provides end-to-end security with no single point of failure and control. And it also allows for us to transfer arbitrary any JSON data from one point to another. So this is a great foundation to build not only chat applications, but all of other means of communication that require security, decentralization, and also the openness that the Matrix protocol brings us. So today, maybe let's have some look of on some use cases of Matrix in the public sector, apart from the traditional Teams-like chat application that we've seen today in many talks. I really like these adoptions, and we are looking at Matrix on a kind of similar way, but in a different area, and want to explore some applications apart from this traditional chat use case. And with that, I will hand over to Timo to give a little short insight into a traditional use case that the public sector has when they offer public services, and the project we are currently starting right now deals with these government services we want to support using Matrix.
Yeah, thanks, Marco, for the introduction. It's my first speech in English, so I want to apologize if something you get not to know. Just let me know. Before we start taking a look on the use case, I want to tell you some basically information about the Bund ID. As I already mentioned, the Bund ID is a central German citizen account, and in the meantime, we have around 4.6 million users. And with a Bund ID account, you can, for example, register your car or request the student loan. It's called BAföG. Maybe you know that. Or you can request several other public services from over 1,500 online services of federal, state, and local government in Germany. So one big player, for example, is which extends his identity access management system to the Bund ID, is a federal employment agency, Bundesagentur für Arbeit. And the Bund ID and as a citizen account has two basic core components. Yeah. The first one is that the Bund ID is an identity provider. That means the citizen can authenticate himself in front of the online service, and therefore he can use his eID card. Or also, if you are a member of another Europe state, you can use an European identity, and then you can take it into your Bund ID account. So we have other kind of credentials like username and password or Elster. but you have to take care because not every online service supports that kind of security credential because of security reasons. Okay, the second basic core component of the Bund ID is the mailbox. And the mailbox plays the more important role in the use case we want to show today. And yeah, we want to have a look on the mailbox inside the Bund ID on the next slides. Okay, now our use case. At the beginning, when the citizen requests the online service, he has to authenticate himself, I told already, in front of the online service, and his personal data from his Bund ID account are handled to the online service provider to complete the application. And what comes next for the user is to wait for the administrative action, which could take some time, you know. Fortunately, there was no waste of time to get to the administration office and submitting the application in person, so maybe that could be the better one. Okay, yeah, as soon as the administration receives an application or has an update to the request, it sends back a notification to the user's Bund ID mailbox. And the Bund ID user is also free to activate a notification on his personal email when he gets the message, when he gets a message inside his Bund ID mailbox, so that he just don't have to log in every time, every day, and looks up if the administration gets back a message or gets back a notification for him. Okay, and that's the Bund ID mailbox, Postfach. Inside it, the user can read the full notification when he's logged in. So if the application is now being processed, for instance, that's the below part, the part at the bottom. And as well, he can read the result of the application. And on the one hand, if he gets a permission, that's the second notification. Permission of groundwater extraction, nice example. Or on the other hand, also the rejection of any application maybe. Okay, so now we have 3 different objectives for the user perspective. The first one is that the communication between the citizen and the government should be as easy as possible for the citizen. And the citizen is used to apps and their ability for push notifications. And we now only have this kind of getting a notification per email, but you can't read the original message or notification the government sent to you. So there should be better support for mobile use cases. Yeah, Bund ID is only now web-based and has no app. Okay, the second objective is user-centered, especially in the administrative context. The user has to give further information to an application if needed, which we summarize under the term of bidirectional communication. We will have a look on that also on the other side of the perspective from the government on the next slides again. And the second objective for the user perspective is the confidentiality, and as the user should trust in privacy of the applications and issues as they get the administration decision. The communication should therefore be end-to-end encrypted for sure from the administrative management software to the user's personal device or app. Okay. So now the public part. Now we get to know how the citizen experiences the public digital service request with his Bund ID account, and now what we think would be the key facts for that I have showed you. Now let's have a look on the public part. As I said, we now have around 1,500 online services of federal, state and local governments which are using the Bund ID. There's a wide range of requirements distributed through the different public administrations. We try to identify and mention the important ones, which are of the greatest importance in this context, we think. And yeah, that's the first one. You can surely imagine the cost of efficiency the cost of efficient. I just mixed something up here. The highest priority for the public administration is the cost reduction, especially in the field of digitalization. Therefore, it goes without saying that the digital solution should be as easy to integrate as possible. So SDKs could be an excellent solution in this matter. Second one, the administrative law and the specialist law also require, for instance, delivery receipts and read receipts within administrative procedures. And also today, governmental online services already can activate a read receipt when user opens messages inside his Bund-ID account. But that's not the email functionality. And the third part is the effective digitalization should be consistent, and therefore the software inside the back office of the public administration has also important requirements, especially concerning the storage of application information and, as mentioned before, that the citizen is authenticated correctly. Now we have an interesting question, and that is within the communication scenario is who initiates the communication. And as part of the request of public services, we must pay attention to on two important things. I know there are three, but I will tell you. The first one is out of process defined service requests. The citizen initiated communication is out of scope. This proactive communication by citizen on the other end is possible by the 115 hotline. And that is another project in Germany. And they also evaluate the use of chatbots and AI, but it's not in our scope. So the second reason is the administrative law forces every communication to start with a service request. And that's the key fact here, which we have to admit on the further showcase. We have divided customizable communications and the requirement of that into three parts. The typical scenario we have today is that we mainly use a one-time targeted notification and transition of documents from the government to the user inside his mailbox. And but in some cases, there is also the need for the administration to ask the citizen questions or request missing documents. And this is what I said already is the kind of bidirectional communication we need. And in addition to this, public administration is still subject to administrative procedural law. And that's the reason why there is a high need for structured communication due to process-defined information exchange and the application forms that are therefore necessary. And as the third one, the third type of communication we don't want to miss is the arbitrary or unstructured messages. But inside of this case, it is mostly likely out of scope here, I think. Okay, so our vision for the government perspective, we derive out of the I told of the requirements I told, sorry, and the next generation infrastructure should be easier to integrate as possible, we saw, and open and adaptable and be capable for machine-readable communication. Okay, now Marco is going to show us how we think this could work and what kind of architecture is needed. And I think he also has some more use cases for the public sector with him. So Marco, just go for it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So let's bring this together. We have the user perspective from the users who want to interact within, with the government, and we have the government perspective with some requirements, especially what Timo told about like the existing IT systems that need to like be integrated into this matrix infrastructure. So let's have a look at how we can bring these both worlds together and build an infrastructure that supports government needs and also meets user expectations. Yeah, first of all, like the first thing after you've filed some request for some government service is you will get a notification about the update of the service. We've depicted that here, like on the left we have the user side, the user-facing side. Here in this example depicted by like the user smartphone, where the user gets some notification. In this case about the new status about his application he filed. And the right side is always the government side. Here we have like a typical government agency. Could be, for example, like a healthcare agency or some like local city that you're talking to. And these agencies usually have their own IT systems in place to answer these service requests. They have specialized software there that is used to, like in a structured form, reply to all these different requests that they have to handle. And therefore, we had a special, we're having a special look on how to integrate these IT systems into this ecosystem. So we don't really provide any generic matrix client for the governments, but especially focus on providing SDKs for the governments and for companies that build software for governments to integrate the existing software into this matrix ecosystem, so that's like public agencies can send out messages from their existing software and don't really have to change that much. Only they now don't have to print out what they want to send to the users and instead send them via this matrix infrastructure. Okay, so now let's assume the public agency informed the user about a new status. We got a notification out there. The user clicks on this notification, and then of course you need some kind of authentication. In this case here, for example, we have a secure login realized using our ID card. And after secure login, the user is now able to see what's been updated here. So like what's new about the service request, what's the current status, and then maybe like a few days later. The public agency realizes that there's some information missing. So we want to integrate in this flow also possibilities for public agencies to request some more information. In this case, like for example, for like a multiple choice question that the user can answer, and then the answer of the user is sent back in a machine-readable response back to the public agency. And since this is integrated in the IT system of the public agency, and we have machine-readable data here, we can do some simple automatic processing of these responses and maybe trigger some next actions. And sometimes, like we have to, like a human person have to decide what's going on with the request, and in many other ways, we can automatically start some further processing of this information to get the speed of service requests we need. Yeah, of course, after there's been a decision, the decision is been translated to the user. We also want to like try out here to have these in machine-readable formats, like get rid of all these PDF documents that have been sent in the past, and try out experiment a bit with machine-readable official documents here. In this example, we see the permit for groundwater extraction again, and now this permit is sent to the smartphone of the user. Of course, we are like in a mobile world where many people want to use mobile devices, but we don't only support mobile, or we can't only support mobile devices. For some persons or people, or for some applications, smartphones aren't that great, especially if you have more complicated things to do, like I don't know, drawing lines on maps. If you want to like build your garden fence or some other stuff, need a permit for that. We also need the web-based access, and therefore the idea is to integrate this in the existing Bund ID web interface. And of course, we want to sync all the information between different channels. This is why we try out a multi-channel approach here, so that users can access their information via the web application and also via their mobile client. And here in this example, all these different messages or conversations are matrix rooms, and these matrix rooms are then also available on the mobile client. So we have end-to-end encrypted communication for all the devices of the user. Okay, so that's like the vision from mostly a user perspective. Let's have a look at some high-level software architecture that is needed for that. This is like a simplified architecture diagram. First, in the beginning, we start with submitting some, usually some web form, some online form, where we apply for some government service. And this is then sent using an existing infrastructure to the IT system of the competent authority. And the competent authority integrates these applications using an SDK into their own IT systems. And then using an integrated matrix, SDK is able to deliver some messages to our matrix home server we place here in the Bund ID backend. And then users will get notified about a new message that is in their matrix account and are able to access this message via a web app or via a mobile app. So we have the whole round trip here. And the neat thing is, like, we can build on top of this matrix infrastructure here, use all the features that matrix already offers, like end-to-end encryption, the mobile device support, and just can use this infrastructure to build more advanced service on top of it, and don't have to deal with all the low-level stuff that is needed for such a system, and can use this to integrate into the existing systems of the government. Yeah, we also want to follow an API-first approach. So on the left, we have an SDK for the public agencies, so they can use this SDK to integrate the infrastructure into their IT systems, as I've already been saying. And on the left, we also have an API-based access, like we have the matrix APIs here. So users can use the possibly the new Bund ID app that we want to build and showcase. They can also use the web interface, and of course they could also use basically any arbitrary matrix client that is compatible with the newest matrix standard and APIs to access these information on the matrix server provided by Bund ID. Yeah, we also want to contribute upstream to the matrix standards, so because we have some things in mind that would be a great addition that we require for our use cases, but we also think they might be a neat fit for the matrix standard in general. First of all, we're following a privacy by design approach here. So what we have is on the left, we have a user, let's call them Alice. And Alice may communicate with different public agencies. Here we want to avoid, in the usual way, Alice would need to exchange their matrix ID with all these agencies. And this is something what we want to avoid, because we want to avoid a unique personal identifier of every citizen in Germany in order to avoid being able to create some personal profiles of each citizen that can be used for example, for stigmatization and discrimination things here. Think of highly sensitive medical data that are exchanged with public agency A that could be possibly correlated to some other critical information on the financial situation of these people, and we want to avoid being able to have an easy way to put these data together put some profiles in place here. So this is why we think it might be a good idea to have different matrix IDs here, or pseudonym matrix IDs here on the right. So Alice still has their identity on the matrix server, but it would be a nice thing to communicate with different public agencies using different identifiers here, so that each public agency sees another identity of Alice, but still Alice is able to see all their messages. This is in a way something like Apple's private email relay does. If you use Apple ID, you may know that when registering using your Apple ID on some service, the service you're either free to choose that the service will learn your own email address that you use to set up your Apple ID account, or you could create some random Apple mail address, Apple ID mail address that is then being forwarded to your own mail account. And this is like, in a way, the same thing we have in mind, but for Matrix in this case. Yeah, also another thing is device verification. Like if we met here at the Matrix conference and verify our devices, this is done usually using these emoji comparison flow. And this is, of course, not really feasible when you interact with government agencies. You can't go there and compare emojis or phone them and have another secure third channel to exchange these emojis. I think this is not something that's usable for most of us and not practical for interactions with your local authorities. So what we want to build is like have the same device verification, but based on X509 certificates. So the government has PKI infrastructures in place. They have certificates that assure their organizational identity. And we could use these public-private key certificates to like sign these device verification requests and then have an automatic device verification for government agencies. So people don't really have to figure out how to compare these emojis with the local government agency, but can still be assured that they're talking to the right organization on an authenticated encrypted channel. Yeah, and the third thing we want to add in the Matrix world are machine-readable forms. So it would be super nice to have a way to put some form schemas into a Matrix channel that will be rendered then as a web form so that people can enter specific information that, in this case, the government agency requests and have a standardized way to describe how the form looks like, which will then get rendered in the Matrix client, ready to be filled out by the user, and then the data that is entered in the form gets sent back to the, in this case, to the public agency, to the other person. And we think we could build this on top of Matrix, of course, but it would be a nice thing to have this as an MSC. I think there might be other applications for this. We already have these multiple choice questions in the Matrix standard, and I think many of these form-based flows, or maybe have these button-based flows we know from other messengers, might be a good fit and good addition to the Matrix standard as well. Okay, so we have a lot to do, and we have want to build and showcase this infrastructure during the next year. So some advertisement here. We will publish our tender soon. So we need vendors that help us build this this prototype and this infrastructure. So have a look on our website during the next maybe 2 or 3 months, and we will publish some tender there to build this infrastructure in practice. Okay, so now I've been talking about what we want to do together with the Ministry of the Interior to build some next generation Matrix-based infrastructure. And I want to discuss with you some other potential applications of Matrix in the government sector that are on top, or not this usual team chat application, but other use cases. So, for example, why not build or why not enhance online services with real-time capabilities? So, what we thought about, what would be a nice project, would be to have some matrix-capable government websites that can communicate in real time with the public agency. I think this is a nice fit for the web-oriented matrix world. And could be nicely integrated into websites. For example, if we look for some government service we want to request and don't know how to do, like what to do now, and have some questions, we could integrate a chatbot and directly chat with an agent inside a government agency, for example, or we can like ask for further input, and the agent in the government agency could possibly like see what we're doing on the website and assist us during the process. Might be especially interesting for like more complex applications like doing your taxes, and there might be some special cases where you need assistance here. So yeah, if you heard of anything like that, I would like to discuss. We have 2 more use cases here. So another super interesting field we are currently looking in is some ideas on how to like combine and connect the infrastructure of the industry to government's IT systems. This is especially useful because also like the industry is a large sector that needs to interact with the government either for reporting things, but also for like applying to other government services, especially for companies. So Matrix might also be a good fit to build some machine-readable communication here between the industry IT systems and the government ones. And maybe the third use case like is a bigger scope. Why not build like a totally open network for secure, decentralized communication in the government sector? And communicate like here, connect different IT systems, different machines from different organizations. For example, I could connect the infrastructure of a local national public agency with the infrastructure of some other public agencies in the EU, for example, if people are living abroad or people are like moving from one country to another, this might be a good thing. Also, we have the TI messenger, which we already heard of today. They also build matrix-based infrastructure there. Maybe we can think of some connections to public agencies that already exist. And also, as I've told, we have the industry IT systems. These could also be a nice thing to interconnect using matrix, MLS, and also the things that are going on in the ITF with the MIMI standard. I think there are a lot of potentials, and I would like to invite you to discuss some ideas, maybe on our project, maybe on these suggestions that we had. If you are in the domain, in the government domain, or have some ideas on what would be a good fit in the government domain, we'd like to invite you to discuss in our Matrix channel, Matrix for Gov on matrix.org, and yeah, brainstorm some nice applications and what can be done with the Matrix standard in government applications.
Look at that. They have 5 minutes to spare, so there's plenty of time for questions.
Yeah, thank you. Love it, really. Especially that you're thinking about a single identifier and how to avoid it. Did you think a bit more about it? If there's an adversarial home server, how to avoid that? Is it? Did it came up?
Yeah, like I think that's an interesting thing, because like we have this, or we will have like a matrix server here owned by the government, and it's yeah, in my opinion, it's a nice idea to make sure that we have as less attack surface as possible. So we're super interested in what's like going on in the discussions that are being made here. Yesterday we discussed about like cryptographic identities and move the user profile from the matrix server to the client, so that we don't have like this server-signed state events, for example, that we have right now. So they are some attack surfaces, and I think these are all things that would benefit, or the whole Matrix ecosystem would benefit from. Yeah, of course, using Matrix, MacAlm, and all that stuff, we have end-to-end encryption here. So at least confidentiality is a big thing we're looking in. So we want to maintain the end-to-end encryption between your government agency and the end device of the user. And this is why we think about this verification, like not emoji verification, but X509-based certificate authentication. These are topics we're looking in our like security by design approach, and we're following like some zero trust paradigms here to like shift or like require less and less trust in our infrastructure.
I've got another question. Normally in Germany you deal with a Kommune, with a city, maybe with a country, sometimes with a Bund. Do you plan to have home servers for every city or for every Kommune and for each Ebene? Yes. Okay. Or like one central server for every citizen of Germany, where the Kommune are getting the data from.
Yeah, so we had it on the slides that every governmental part, so like a community or a state, has its own Matrix central server.
Yeah. Okay. Like in the prototype and the project, we will basically start with one server to make it more like more easy to like showcase this and make it more easy to bootstrap for some proof of concepts to integrate in this. But it might be a good idea to think about like what's also what Gematik does with the TI messenger to build basically one Matrix server per organizational unit. This might be a good thing to like improve this decentralization aspect of it anymore. But what we need still is like we need the users to be signed up to some Matrix service here. Could be a central service they use as a service. We also thought about like maybe allowing, or like just maybe why not allow people to bring their own Matrix server as they would bring their own email server, or like choose their own email server they want and just register their Matrix ID somewhere. These are all things we are looking in, but like we'll see where we get there.
All right, well, let's thank our speakers one more time.